1 petaflop of AI compute, the kind of horsepower that used to live only inside a data center, is about to land inside the laptop you buy in fall 2026. And it runs fully offline, no internet required. This isn't a routine spec bump. It's NVIDIA walking straight up to Apple Silicon and Qualcomm Snapdragon X and knocking on the front door. On the main stage of GTC Taipei, Jensen Huang unveiled the RTX Spark lineup, and the partner helping him push that architecture into laptops is Taiwan's own MediaTek. Welcome to the AI Ledger, 10 minutes a day to read the real business behind AI. In this episode we break down 3 things, from an industry lens: what RTX Spark actually delivers, where MediaTek really sits in this deal, and how a war that runs from the data center all the way to the laptop could redraw the entire PC map. Let's lay out the core. What NVIDIA unveiled is the RTX Spark line of Windows AI PCs, chip codename N1X, packing a Blackwell GPU, an ARM-based Gray CPU, and up to 128 GB of unified memory into a single package. The official headline figure is a peak inference throughput of 1 petaflop, roughly 1000 TOPS, but that number is measured in FP4 with sparsity, so cite it honestly as a calculated peak, not a real-world benchmark. 6 OEMs are locked in for the first wave: Asus, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft and MSI, with retail availability in fall 2026. Business Insider put it bluntly, RTX Spark wants to reinvent the PC. In plain terms, the data center is conquered, now it's the machine on your desk. One thing to nail down first, or the marketing will lead you astray. There are actually 2 Spark product lines, and a lot of coverage mixes them up. The first is the desktop DGX Spark, codename GB10, which shipped in October 2025, a personal AI supercomputer for an engineer's desk. The second is the one that's new here, RTX Spark, built for laptops and mini PCs, running Windows, with a top tier called N1X and a mainstream tier called N1. The 2 lines share the same top silicon, but the machines, the operating system and the target buyers are all different. Get that layer straight, and you won't slap 128 GB and 1 petaflop onto the wrong product.
All the way to data centers and eventually to end users. Today, we're going to talk about almost all of the ecosystem. There's so many people to thank. I love my ecosystem here. I mean, there are so many companies here, and some of my favorite ecosystem partners.
Now the architecture, and the real breakthrough isn't the compute number, it's the integration. In the PC market, NVIDIA has always just been an add-in graphics card, it never controlled how the CPU and the system talk to each other. Apple's M-series and Qualcomm's Snapdragon X have spent years in AI PCs and Windows on ARM, playing all 3 cards: efficiency, battery life, on-device AI. NVIDIA is, frankly, the latecomer. The real breakthrough in RTX Spark is its own ARM-based Gray CPU. For the first time, NVIDIA holds the full CPU plus GPU say in a consumer device, no longer just a card on someone else's board. That 3-in-1 design crams workstation-class compute and memory bandwidth into a laptop's power and thermal budget, exactly what the x86 camp has wanted for years and couldn't pull off. Now MediaTek, the part Taiwan cares about most, and the part most likely to get overhyped. The joint NVIDIA-MediaTek press release is clear, the N1X platform is co-designed, not outsourced manufacturing. MediaTek owns 3 pieces, the 20-core Grace ARM CPU, the memory subsystem, and the high-speed interfaces, porting the power efficiency and integration it built in mobile chip straight into a high-end PC. The GPU core and the CUDA software ecosystem stay firmly in NVIDIA's hands. In plain terms, MediaTek didn't build a whole chip, it won a co-design order for the key subsystems of NVIDIA's flagship platform. The key point, MediaTek is a deep partner, but it is not the one in charge. Treat it as a deep joint venture partner, not the lead, and you'll be closer to the truth. On specs, be honest about the tiers, or one hero model gets overhyped and the market misreads it. Per leaks from Tom's Hardware, the top N1X is 20 cores, 10 big plus 10 small, with around 6,144 CUDA cores, performance in the neighborhood of a desktop RTX 5070. Memory runs 16 GB to 128 GB of LPDDR5X, with a TDP between 45 and 80 watts. The mainstream N1 drops a tier, 12 cores, around 2560 CUDA cores, clearly entry-level. The point, these are two clearly graded lines. Not every RTX Spark ships with a maxed-out 128GB and top-tier CUDA. Label the tiers honestly, so you don't buy an entry N1 thinking you got the flagship. On the OEM side, locking 6 brands into the first wave is itself a calculated market statement by NVIDIA. CNBC's launch list is Asus, Dell, HP, Lenovo, Microsoft and MSI, 2 of them Taiwanese, maxing out hardware channel visibility. The launch window is fall 2026, landing right on the year-end Western shopping season plus the enterprise refresh cycle. That timing is no accident. But one thing has to be clear, price, gross margin and per chip power draw, those 3 key numbers still haven't been disclosed officially. Some estimate N1X machines above $2,000 and entry N1 under $1,500, but that's analyst math compiled by CNBC, not an official figure. Flag that layer of uncertainty, don't treat an estimate as established fact. Pull the lens back to the market. RTX Spark is stepping into a premium battlefield that's already scaling, not a test bed. Gartner's latest forecast, AI PCs as a share of total PC shipments run about 31% in 2025, jumping to 55% in 2026, volume climbing from 114 million units to 143 million. More important, Gartner expects that by the end of 2026 enterprise PC buying shifts almost entirely to AI PC specs, the biggest concentrated refresh cycle the PC industry has seen in a decade. NVIDIA isn't entering late to catch up, it's timing the inflection point. For OEMs, AI PCs go from a niche line to mainstream replacement demand, which forces a full reset of product strategy and pricing, away from the old low-margin volume game. So why now? The causal chain is clean, 3 reasons stacking up. 1. AI PCs are hitting the adoption inflection point, Gartner's 55% in 2026, with the enterprise refresh wave kicking in at the same time, the best window for NVIDIA to enter. 2. On-device AI agents have reached a practical threshold. Cloud subscriptions keep getting pricier and data privacy worries keep growing, so the demand to run agents without going online becomes real and measurable. The Decoder put it directly, RTX Spark finally makes local AI agents usable on Windows. 3. Computex is the biggest stage facing OEMs, strapping 6 brands onto the same ship at once, finishing market warm-up right before the year-end shopping season. Stack the 3, and this timing was absolutely calculated. Now the competitive map. The Decoder is blunt, NVIDIA is fighting Apple Silicon and Qualcomm on 2 fronts at once. Take Apple first, extremely strong on unified memory and efficiency. The M5 Max also pushes 128GB class unified memory, with memory bandwidth that actually beats the same family DGX Spark, and can run 70 billion parameter language models on battery. But Apple's fatal gap is no CUDA ecosystem, PyTorch CUDA, Flash Attention, VLLM, TensorRT almost all prioritize NVIDIA. That's NVIDIA's real moat, hardware specs are the surface, the long compounding of the CUDA software ecosystem is the substance. And because Apple keeps its platform closed while NVIDIA rides Windows on ARM, NVIDIA can capture the largest installed base. Windows desktop share is around 61%, and on AI PC platforms Windows is 78.6%, far above macOS at 13.3%. Walled garden versus open market, who scales first is obvious. The Qualcomm front is closer combat than Apple. Per Windows Central, Qualcomm already has Snapdragon X design wins at Lenovo, Dell, HP and Microsoft, with compatible games past 2,500, real ecosystem depth. The next generation, Snapdragon X2 with Qualcomm's in-house Orion cores, lands in late 2026, claiming it can smoothly run 90% of popular Windows games. But Qualcomm has 2 soft spots, shaky x86 emulation compatibility, and a lack of high-end GPU support. NVIDIA's cards, the CUDA ecosystem plus RTX class GPUs, hit Qualcomm exactly where it's weakest. Still, with launch not until fall, rivals have plenty of time to respond. Who wins this one comes down to real benchmarks, today's spec sheets don't decide it. Now the layered meaning for Taiwan's supply chain, you can't paint every company with one beneficiary brush. Layer 1 is MediaTek. Stepping into the high-end PC plus AI compute market is its biggest growth curve story in a decade. NVIDIA explicitly confirmed MediaTek's co-design contribution across CPU, memory subsystem and high-speed interfaces, a rare level of exclusive carve-out participation for a Taiwanese chip firm. In plain terms, NVIDIA carved out a core block of work and handed it to MediaTek alone, symbolically bigger than any prior collaboration. But the industry also cautions, the division of labor is clear, yet neither side has disclosed shipment volume or revenue contribution. The fair read is a long-term position, not orders already in the bag, and until there's a clear volume and pricing structure, any number still carries guesswork. Flag that layer.
Okay, let's talk about the next wave of robotics, the next wave of AI, robotics, physical AI. So far, all of the AI that we've talked about is one computer.
Layer 2 is the PC brands, focus on three Taiwanese names, ASUS, Gigabyte and MSI. All three are double-positioned, high-margin server assembly on one side, and the new AI PC brand line on the other. ASUS brings the Ascent GX10 with the GB10 superchip, plus ProArt-class RTX Spark laptops and mini PCs across two product lines. Gigabyte and MSI sit on both the DGX Spark and RTX Spark OEM lists. But here's a key risk: on the brand side, gross margin and shipment volume are clearly more uncertain than server assembly. AI PCs are a brand new pricing band, whether they sell, and sell at a premium, depends on consumers and enterprise buyers signing off. Price and margin are still unannounced, so without pricing and production scale numbers, any revenue estimate is a market reference, not a settled case. That's today's industry read on GTC Taipei, Part 2. The core message of the whole keynote boils down to 3 points. 1. Through RTX Spark, NVIDIA extends its front line from the data center all the way to the AI PC, and paired with Gartner's 55% penetration and the enterprise refresh wave, that's a new growth curve with quantified backing. 2. MediaTek, for the first time, enters the key subsystems of NVIDIA's flagship platform as a co-design partner, a historic step up in collaboration level for a Taiwanese chip firm, though the real revenue contribution still awaits official disclosure. 3. ASUS, Gigabyte and MSI catch the first OEM wave, but the brand-side margin risk is clearly higher than server assembly. If you want to keep tracking this, two industry signals over the next 3 months matter most. One is MediaTek's commentary on N1X shipment cadence, the other is the OEM's actual pricing announcements. Those two tell us first whether this data center to laptop story really holds. If you liked this one, hit like and subscribe, and share this ledger with a friend who's also tracking AI. See you next time.